Expansion's project mission is clear: to ensure that every eligible voter can register, that every registered voter can vote, and that every vote is accurately counted. This notion of getting more people involved in the process is one of the core fundamental values that we share as Americans. It's not just about strengthening the political party. It's about strengthening our democracy. The CBC PAC is working with the GNC to ensure that we expand the vote by creating more access and more voters, and we're by protecting the vote by breaking down barriers, demystifying the voting process, and making sure every vote counts. Here in Virginia, the part of the goal is to institutionalize the programs and the lessons learned from the Obama campaign. The voter expansion program in Virginia in 2013 was modeled on the program built here in 2012 and 2008. The DNC attorney volunteers, known as voter advocates, they work to ensure that all poll workers were properly trained, intervening often with the State Board of Elections, and were stationed across the state on election day. The provisional ballot program that they had ensured that when the Attorney General's race here in Virginia was too close to call, they got every vote counted. You know, studies on black voter participation showed a couple of things. Number one, it showed that obviously an increase in African American turnout was huge for President Obama's campaign in 2008 and in 2012. But history shows that black voters are generally much less apt to vote than white voters. And that trend is even more pronounced in midterm election years such as 2014 that we're in right now. Six of the 16 states with the highest black populations are holding key Senate contests in 2014. So that says that basically every black voter who stays home, studies show, are a Democratic voter who stays home. Black voters vote generally more than 90% Democratic. So just about every drop in turnout amongst black voters pretty much comes at a Democrat's expense. So let's just say that the share of the black vote drops about 4 to 5% in Louisiana again this year. That's essentially 4 to 5 percentage points that a Democrat running in 2012 would have gotten in Obama year. So Senator Landrieu, Mayor Landrieu, for example, running for Congress, in this case, will have to make that up. So I give you these examples because I want you to get involved. Whether you're Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter. I just want you to be involved in the process. I strongly encourage you to contact everyone that you know to get registered to vote if they aren't already. And if they are registered to vote, you need to make sure that they're aware of all the new voting rules and regulations so that you won't have any surprises on election day come November. I want to encourage you to call your local elected officials, such as Senator Lucas, to advocate for changes in the voter ID laws here in Virginia, because it happens on the state level, y'all, not the federal law, not the federal level. And most importantly, go and vote. Not just every 4 years when past 2 election cycles when there's been a African American on the ballot, but every year, every primary election, every city council race, every mayor's race, they all matter. If you have chapters in states where there are key Senate races, I'm talking Arkansas, North Carolina, Louisiana, Michigan, encourage them all to get registered to vote and be active in the process. The CBC PAC, over the next few months, will be coordinating bus tours and strategic get-out-the-vote efforts in all of these states, and we actually need your support. As my boss, Congressman Gregory Meeks from 5th Congressional District in New York always says, the camera of history is rolling, and it's looking to see what we all do. When the Freedom Riders were assaulted as they were forced to exit the bus for the whole world to see, it was the first time that the world witnessed the true brutality of segregation on camera. What will the next generation see in 2014? When we're organized and consistent, we can do anything that we want to achieve. We can galvanize all people, young and old, black and white, to get together to do what was once thought as unthinkable. Elect the first African American president in history, Barack Obama. When we are together and we have the same mission, we can elect leaders who will protect our right to vote, who will ensure that all Americans have an adequate education, access to health care for everyone, who will vote to raise the minimum wage so that everyone can have a chance to live above the poverty line and not on public assistance.